Kyrgyzstan, country of Central Asia. It is bounded by Kazakhstan on the northwest and north, by China on the east and south, and by Tajikistan and Uzbekistan on the south and west. Most of Kyrgyzstan's borders run along mountain crests. The capital is Bishkek, known from 1862 to 1926 as Pishpik and from 1926 to 1991 as Frunze. The Kyrgyz, a Muslim Turkic people, constitute nearly 3/4 of the population. The history of the Kyrgyz in what is now Kyrgyzstan dates, at least to the 17th century. Kyrgyzstan, known under Russian and Soviet rule as Kyrgyzia, was conquered by Tsarist Russian forces in the 19th century. Formerly a constituent, Union, Republic of the USSR, Kyrgyzstan declared its independence on August 31, 1991. 1. Ala Archa Gorge. This grand, rugged but very accessible gorge is situated about an hour's drive south of Bishkek. Now converted into a national park, it offers scores of walking and trekking possibilities, including hikes to glaciers and for serious mountaineers, climbs to some of the region's highest peaks. In the Kyrgyz language, Ala Archa means bright juniper and it grows in abundance over the mountain slopes. The Alamedin River, flowing along the gorge, is beautiful but treacherous. Ala Archa National Park is a favorite place with the citizens of Bishkek, who like to relax by a waterfall and enjoy a picnic in the summer. Experienced hikers can climb up to the stunning Aksay Canyon and Aksay Glacier. Nestled in the Tian Shan Mountains, Ala Archa National Park is surrounded by alpine vegetation, presenting a spectacular terrain. Accessible round the year, Ala Archa National Park is located 40 kilometers from Bishkek and one of the must-see places to visit in Kyrgyzstan. Visited by locals and tourists alike, Ala Archa National Park is ideal for picnics, wildlife trails, mountain treks, nature walks, and hikes. There is a regular Marshrutka, 265, that leaves from the Osh Bazaar in Bishkek and ends at Kashka Suu, near the beginning of Ala Archa. From there, you will have to hitchhike to get the main entrance of the park. The easiest way to get to Ala Archa is by having a private form of transport, either in the form of a rental, a tour guide, or a private taxi. A round trip with a taxi driver will cost around $30–35. Where to stay around Ala Archa? There are a couple of mountain hotels located at the entrance to Ala Archa. If you need some more rugged digs, stay at a campground instead or go backpacking into the wilderness. 2. Bishkek. Kyrgyzstan's capital, Bishkek, is like the Denver of Central Asia, flat, close to the mountains, and a little underrated. Also in common between the two cities is that both have an unquenchable thirst for the outdoors and, believe it or not, an amazing beer scene as well. Kudos Bishkek, kudos. My random comparisons being finished, Bishkek really is a misunderstood city. Most imagine it to be a typical, post-Soviet wasteland with nothing but brutalist architecture and melancholic citizens. These couldn't be farther from the truth. There are lots of reasons Bishkek is worth visiting. For one, the people are actually extremely modern and, for that matter, very good-looking. The aforementioned beer scene is a great surprise, and dropping by the likes of Save, the Ales or Blonder pub makes for a great afternoon. Also, there is plenty of green space to walk around in the city, particularly around the center and Ala to Square. In the end, Bishkek is a great example that not everything is gray beyond the Iron Curtain. All roads in Kyrgyzstan eventually lead back to Bishkek since it is the capital and most populous place in the country. If you need any help finding Bishkek, just follow the signs or ask some friendly locals. Bishkek is also only a 3-hour drive from Almaty, Kazakhstan. Like Bishkek, Almaty is also very international but, that being said, is much bigger and busier than Bishkek. Thanks to recent economic booms, Almaty is actually quite hedonistic these days, and is sometimes referred to as the New York City of Central Asia. No Borats here. If you make it to Almaty, be sure to explore the areas outside the city as well. Chirin Canyon is an epic destination, and is only 3 hours away from the city. 3. Karakol. Karakol is the administrative center of Issyk-Kul province, and a good base from which to explore the lake. It was founded in 1869 after the commander of a nearby garrison realized that with its mild climate and fertile soil it was well suited for settlement. Today the town is famous for its surrounding apple orchards, and there is a very good Sunday market. Things to see include the Chinese mosque, which was built entirely without nails by Chinese artisans in 1920, and the Holy Trinity Cathedral. There are also good walks to be had in the valley of the Karakol River. For those who want to go hiking in the Ala to Mountains, which hosts superlative locations like Ala Kul and Altan Arashan, Karakol will be their primary base of operations. If you need a break from hiking, the town has a number of cultural sites, which should keep people busy for a few days in between their adventures. Karakol is a great place to start trekking due to its prime location at the foot of the mountains, and a decent array of services. There are several local outfitters in Karakol that can help equip you for an epic trek, whether you're in need of a new tent or a full-on guide. Visit Karakol is a fantastic tour operator that comes recommended by us. Insider tip: my favorite shashlik, Russian kebabs, in all Kyrgyzstan can be found at Kayf. How to get to Karakol? There are lots of buses that travel between Karakol and Bishkek. Buses leave from Bishkek at the western station and arrive at the Avtovokzal stop in Karakol. Vice versa is the same. Those driving can head to Karakol along the southern or northern shore of Issyk-Kul. Both are the AE 363 road. Note that the northern shore is a better paved road, but the southern shore is more scenic. 4. Osh is Kyrgyzstan's second largest city. It is one of the region's most ancient towns, with a history stretching back to the 5th century BC, and legends tell of it being founded by all sorts of people, from King Solomon to Alexander the Great. It was a major hub on the Silk Road. Today it has a strong Uzbek feel, which is unsurprising as 40% of the population are Uzbeks. The huge daily Jama Bazaar is one of Central Asia's best markets. It is spread out along the river, and is at its busiest on Sunday. Just outside the town is a rocky outcrop known as Solomon's Throne. It has long been a place of Muslim pilgrimage, as Mohammed is supposed to have once prayed here. Kyrgyzstan's southern capital exists in stark contrast to the northern one, where Bishkek feels international, modern, and bustling. Relative terms, Osh is far more traditional and culturally rich. Gone are the khaki shorts and the designer label fashion, in our covered shoulders and Islamic dress codes. Please don't let that intimidate you. These are what make Osh so interesting. Osh is an ancient city that dates back thousands of years and has a much more fascinating history, for good and bad. The locals take great pride in this and enjoy talking about how culturally rich their home is. Insider tip: Osh is also semi-well known for its street murals. How to get to Osh? Whilst it is possible to drive to Osh, it is not the best way to arrive. The road from Bishkek to the city is long, hard, and only fit for those who don't mind a bumpy ride. The drive is scenic and road trippers will probably find the journey pretty fun. Just be sure to allocate 2-3 days for the journey. Flying to Osh is way more convenient than driving. Tickets with Air Manas are dirt cheap at the moment, costing less than $40 for one way, and the flight is only 45 minutes long. That's a 3-day long land expedition that you just saved yourself. People, where to stay around Osh? 5. Jedioguz, 25 kilometers west of Karakol, is the Jedioguz Canyon. These red sandstone cliffs are said to resemble bulls, and the name itself means 7 bulls. It is said that these splendid animals grew to huge proportions because of the lush pastures in the valley. There is a village nearby and walks can be taken into the canyon. Below the cliffs is one of the few surviving Issyk-Kul spas. It was built in 1932 and there are a variety of pools and treatment rooms. Jedioguz is yet another example of how Kyrgyzstan looks so much like the Western American landscape. Meaning, 7 bulls, in Kyrgyz. Jedioguz is a collection of blood-red rocks at the base of the Ala-2 mountains. Their prominent shape, height, and absolutely brilliant color, which is wonderfully juxtaposed against the green hills, make them unforgettable. To get the best view of Jedioguz, simply climb up the eastern slopes next to the road. The viewpoint at the top of the hill offers the best panoramas. Don't forget to drop by the Broken Heart on your way to Jedioguz either. Its name comes from both the distinctive crack running down the rock and from the tragic love stories that surround it. Jedioguz is located very close to Karakol, and the drive there is only about 30 minutes long. You will either need your own car or hire a private driver or tour. There are plenty of taxi drivers in Karakol, so finding one shouldn't be a problem. Expect to pay $7-8 one way with a taxi. Jedioguz is already one of the most popular places to visit in Kyrgyzstan. Unfortunately, this means that there is quite a bit of infrastructure built up around the monoliths. A dozen guest houses surround the rocks and there is almost always a decent-sized crowd in the area.